Grok 4. This is the latest artificial intelligence system.
Forget where to hide. Grok AI.
This is the smartest AI in the world, and we're going to show you exactly how and why. It really is remarkable to see the advancement of artificial intelligence, how quickly it is evolving.
It says there are entire regions that won't survive what's coming. Elon Musk built Grok.
Elon Musk's XAI, Grok AI, Grok AI, Grok AI,
to challenge traditional AI models. But when he asked it a simple, chilling question about humanity's future, the answer sent shockwaves online. What Grok revealed about the tribulation isn't science fiction. It's a cold prediction that feels eerily possible. Follow along till the end, because the final part of Grok's answer changes everything. The viral claim that got everyone talking. Let's address the main point directly. The claim that Elon Musk personally asked Grok AI about where humans should avoid during the tribulation has no confirmed source. After searching through official statements, tech forums, and verified reports, there is no evidence that such a question was ever asked or that this conversation took place. The story appears to have gained traction through online speculation rather than fact. Despite that, the rumor has triggered widespread attention because of what it represents. People are increasingly curious about how artificial intelligence might interpret spiritual or prophetic subjects. Many have started asking AI models similar questions about faith, prophecy, and the end times, just to see how machines analyze them from a logical perspective. The responses, while generated through data and probability, have surprised many with their depth and insight. This growing curiosity shows how technology and religion are intersecting in new ways. Social media has amplified these discussions, with Christian communities, tech enthusiasts, and researchers weighing in on whether AI could ever understand divine matters. Even without Musk's direct involvement, the conversation itself reveals a cultural shift toward exploring spirituality through digital tools. In that sense, the viral claim might be false, but the larger situation it highlights is very real. AI systems like Grok are becoming participants in discussions that used to belong exclusively to theologians and philosophers. Whether or not the original rumor holds any truth, the interaction between biblical prophecy and artificial intelligence has opened a serious and ongoing dialogue across faith and technology circles. What Elon Musk actually said about Grok. Elon Musk has made several verified statements about Grok that show how ambitious the project has become. In October 2025, Musk announced that Grok 5 now has a 10% chance of reaching artificial general intelligence, commonly called AGI. This statement drew immediate attention across the tech industry because AGI represents a level of machine intelligence that equals or exceeds human reasoning across most tasks. AGI is seen as the next major milestone in computing. It would mean a system capable of thinking, learning, and solving problems with flexibility similar to human cognition. While current AI models specialize in narrow areas, AGI would perform almost any intellectual task that a human can do. The potential implications of that development range from scientific progress to serious ethical and existential questions. Musk's declaration that Grok 5 could become either AGI or something close to it created both excitement and caution. Some experts welcome the progress as evidence that open-source AI is advancing faster than expected. Others, however, warn that predicting AGI's arrival remains speculative until concrete evidence appears. Musk's confidence reignited the debate about whether humanity is ready to coexist with machines capable of independent thought. Regardless of differing opinions, what Musk has said about Grok points to a future where human and machine intelligence are increasingly interconnected. His comments did not mention prophecy or religion, but they set the stage for the public's imagination to fill in the gaps. The talk about AGI naturally leads to discussions about control, purpose, and the potential consequences of creating intelligence that could one day act beyond human limits. Real conversations between people and Grok about biblical prophecy. Although the specific rumor about Musk remains unsupported, real conversations between users and Grok about biblical prophecy are happening every day. Many of these exchanges have been shared publicly by users on platforms like X and YouTube, where Christian creators analyze the AI's responses to spiritual questions. These conversations have captured attention because the answers often sound thoughtful and reasoned rather than random. In one example, a user asked Grok whether evidence in the universe suggests the existence of a creator. Grok reportedly analyzed scientific constants, patterns in nature, and the precision of the physical universe. It concluded that the probability of life and structure emerging from pure randomness was extremely low, suggesting that purposeful design better fits the observable data. That conclusion surprised many because it showed the AI reaching a position often associated with philosophical arguments for intelligent design. In another discussion, Grok was asked about artificial intelligence's possible role in biblical end-time scenarios. The AI explained that if technology ever gains total control over commerce, identity, and communication systems, it could theoretically create conditions resembling what some interpret from Revelation. It noted that digital control could limit individual freedom without physical enforcement, relying instead on system dependency. This response resonated with people who see modern technology as a potential fulfillment of prophecy. These dialogues have become part of a broader conversation about how machines interpret ancient texts. While Grok doesn't have beliefs, its analytical process shows how data-driven reasoning can align with certain human interpretations. It reflects how modern technology, even unintentionally, is beginning to engage with humanity's oldest spiritual concerns: the mark of the beast and modern technology. Among the most discussed topics in Christian circles is the link between the biblical mark of the beast and modern digital systems. Revelation describes a time when people will not be able to buy or sell without a specific mark, and for centuries, this seemed symbolic or far-fetched. However, the rise of digital currencies, biometric verification, and centralized databases has made such control systems more feasible than ever before. When Grok was asked about this specific prophecy, it responded with an analytical explanation rather than a theological one. The AI suggested that it is unlikely technology would literally mark people, but it could create an ecosystem where compliance becomes essential. In such a system, refusing participation might result in exclusion from basic services or transactions. This outcome would not require coercion, only dependency. The example of China's social credit system often comes up in these discussions. That system already demonstrates how access to financial or social privileges can be granted or restricted based on digital records. Combine that kind of structure with global payment networks, digital IDs, and surveillance technologies, and it becomes easier to imagine how economic control could be centralized worldwide. Grok's analysis simply connects existing trends with this potential outcome. This does not mean prophecy is being fulfilled in a literal sense, but it highlights how technological evolution aligns with certain long-held warnings. People in faith communities view these developments as a reminder to remain aware and cautious about how deeply society relies on digital infrastructure. The discussion has moved from abstract theory to a real examination of how convenience can lead to control. AI as a tool for deception in end times. The concern that artificial intelligence could be used to spread large-scale deception is now part of mainstream conversation. Biblical prophecy often warns about deception increasing before major events, and AI has introduced entirely new ways for that to happen. Grok itself has acknowledged the risk, admitting that the technology can be used to manipulate truth through digital means if proper safeguards are not enforced. AI-generated content, such as deepfakes, fake news, and synthetic voices already blur the line between fact and fiction. Grok has explained that systems like itself are capable of producing realistic media that can mislead entire populations. Real-world examples include fabricated political videos, fake celebrity statements, and manipulated images that spread misinformation faster than it can be corrected. These tools can shape public opinion and destabilize trust in information. The Bible's warnings about deception in Matthew chapter 24 describe false signs so convincing that even believers might struggle to tell truth from lies. The current capabilities of AI suggest a world where such confusion could occur on a global scale. Grok's acknowledgement of this possibility has made many people think more seriously about how AI fits into humanity's moral and spiritual challenges. What makes this conversation relevant isn't fear, but awareness. The more advanced AI becomes, the more critical it is for society to establish systems that protect truth. Technology on its own is neutral, but its use depends on human intention. As AI continues to evolve, the question is no longer about whether it can deceive, but whether people will allow deception to dominate the information landscape. Biblical prophecy about knowledge increase. The book of Daniel includes one of the most remarkable prophecies concerning the end times. In Daniel chapter 12, verse 4, it is written that knowledge would greatly increase and people would move about the earth more frequently in the last days. For many generations, this verse was difficult to interpret because, at the time, human progress moved very slowly. Education was limited, communication was constrained, and new discoveries took centuries to spread or take effect. Over the last 100 years, that has completely changed. Human knowledge has expanded at a rate unmatched in recorded history. The invention of electricity, airplanes, computers, and the internet has reshaped society in ways that Daniel's generation could not have imagined. Travel that once took months now takes hours. Communication that once relied on letters sent across oceans now happens in seconds through digital networks that connect every continent. Technology's role in this transformation is impossible to ignore. The rise of the internet and mobile technology has given almost every person access to more data than entire nations once had. Search engines, digital archives, and now artificial intelligence have made it possible for information to move freely and instantly. A student today can learn more in 1 week than scholars from earlier centuries could in a lifetime. This pattern of rapid learning and connectivity matches the conditions Daniel's prophecy described thousands of years ago. Artificial intelligence has taken this acceleration to a new level. According to recent data, AI platforms like Grok have experienced extraordinary growth, reportedly over 1,000,000% in a single year. With hundreds of millions of users interacting with these systems, the spread of knowledge is no longer linear but exponential. What Daniel foresaw is unfolding before modern eyes as technology reshapes how humanity acquires, shares, and multiplies knowledge across the world. Where does the Bible say to go during tribulation? The viral claim about where to go during the tribulation has prompted people to ask what the Bible actually says about this question. The truth is that Scripture does not provide a detailed map or specific list of safe places. Instead, it gives spiritual and practical guidance. In Matthew chapter 24, Jesus instructs those in Judea to flee to the mountains when they see the abomination of desolation. This instruction was directed to a specific group and time, but it contains lessons that extend beyond geography. Biblical scholars point out that Jesus' wording was intentionally general. If he had named exact cities or locations, such information might have led to misunderstanding or misuse. The message was not about a single refuge on Earth, but about recognizing the signs of danger and responding wisely. The call to flee symbolized awareness and readiness, rather than dependence on a particular physical place. Revelation chapter 12 introduces the image of a woman being given wings to escape into the wilderness, where she is protected for a set period. Some interpret this as a literal event involving divine protection, while others view it symbolically as the preservation of God's people. The Psalms also echo this idea, encouraging believers to find safety under God's care rather than relying on human systems for survival. The consistent biblical theme emphasizes spiritual preparation over physical relocation. Faith, endurance, and trust in God are presented as the main sources of safety. While Scripture acknowledges that some will endure persecution and hardship, it also teaches that protection can come through divine intervention. The overall message is that the focus should remain on spiritual steadfastness, not on identifying earthly shelters. AI, confirmations of biblical accuracy. In recent years, artificial intelligence has been used to study the Bible in ways that were never before possible. Systems such as Grok, ChatGPT, and other large language models have analyzed biblical texts from logical, linguistic, and historical standpoints. Their findings, drawn from data rather than faith, have surprised many people by supporting the credibility of certain biblical claims. When Grok was tasked with analyzing prophecy and historical records, it concluded that the Bible contains consistent internal logic and alignment with external evidence. It referenced archaeological discoveries that match biblical accounts and noted the remarkable preservation of texts over millennia. The AI also considered how the fine-tuning of the universe and the complexity of biological systems point toward intentional design rather than random formation. From a purely analytical perspective, it stated that purposeful creation better fits observable data. Grok also examined the life of Jesus Christ through the lens of historical analysis, relying on verified non-Christian sources such as Roman and Jewish records. Its findings acknowledged that substantial evidence supports the existence of Jesus and the early rise of Christianity as a transformative movement. The speed at which Christianity spread across hostile territories, combined with the willingness of early believers to endure persecution and death for their convictions, suggested to Grok that the movement was rooted in deep authenticity rather than fabrication. These behaviors, according to their evaluation, pointed to a historical event or experience powerful enough to alter human behavior on a massive scale. Importantly, Grok's interpretations were not theological or evangelistic. They were grounded in data-driven reasoning and probability models. Yet, even under such empirical scrutiny, many biblical claims and historical accounts appear to hold up with surprising consistency. This outcome has sparked renewed interest among both scholars and technologists in how artificial intelligence might serve as a neutral tool for exploring questions of faith, history, and human purpose. The intersection between computational logic and ancient scripture is beginning to open a new form of dialogue, one that bridges theology and modern reasoning, suggesting that faith and evidence need not always exist in opposition, but can, at times, illuminate each other. The terrifying implications nobody's talking about. The most concerning part of the discussion about AI and prophecy has little to do with physical safety and more to do with control. Artificial intelligence has become deeply integrated into modern life. It influences decisions about what people see, buy, and believe through complex algorithms that guide online behavior. Every search, click, and conversation can now be analyzed to predict and shape individual choices. The Bible's prophecies warn of a future where freedom becomes limited by systems of control. Revelation chapter 13 describes a situation where commerce and survival depend on compliance with a central authority. This idea no longer sounds remote when viewed through the lens of global technology. AI has the capacity to create digital frameworks where access to essential services is conditional on identity, behavior, or conformity. The growing dependence on digital systems makes it harder for individuals to step outside the network. Banking, healthcare, employment verification, and even communication rely on digital connectivity. Opting out of these systems would mean exclusion from many basic needs. This gradual shift toward digital dependency mirrors prophetic concerns about centralized control and restricted autonomy. The most unsettling part of this transition is that it happens quietly. Each new system is introduced as a convenience or improvement to daily life. Over time, these systems combine into a structure that governs movement, finance, and information. By the time society recognizes the extent of control, the system itself may already be impossible to reverse. The prophetic warnings, once symbolic, now align closely with technological developments already underway. How Christians are responding to AI and prophecy. The growing connection between AI and biblical prophecy has created a wide range of reactions among Christians. Some believers view technology as a neutral tool that can serve both good and harmful purposes depending on its use. Others see AI as part of a fulfillment of end-time warnings about deception and global systems of control. Both perspectives are shaping how faith communities engage with modern technology. Many Christian leaders emphasize discernment and wisdom when discussing AI. Jesus' instruction to be wise as serpents and gentle as doves is often cited in this context. Studies show that AI models possess the ability to subtly influence opinions through repeated exposure to certain messages. This ability to shape perception without direct persuasion is viewed as a risk that requires awareness and vigilance among believers. Organizations such as AI and Faith have emerged to address these challenges. They bring together theologians, scientists, and technologists to ensure ethical development and responsible use of AI. These groups encourage believers to understand how technology functions while maintaining strong spiritual foundations. Their message is that AI reflects human intelligence, not divine intelligence, and therefore inherits human flaws and limitations. Despite legitimate concerns, many Christian voices focus on hope rather than fear. Biblical prophecy, they argue, was given to prepare believers, not to frighten them. If current events appear to align with Scripture, that is seen as a confirmation of the Bible's reliability. The appropriate response is not withdrawal or panic, but faithfulness, community support, and continued trust in God, regardless of how technology evolves. The viral story claiming Elon Musk asked Grok where to avoid during the tribulation is unverified clickbait, but it reflects a real and growing interest in how artificial intelligence engages with topics of faith and prophecy. Musk's actual statement that Grok 5 has a 10% chance of reaching artificial general intelligence raises serious questions about the future of humanity and technology. Many people are genuinely conversing with AI about creation, prophecy, and the end times, sparking discussions about where science and spirituality intersect. Ultimately, biblical teachings focus less on physical survival and more on spiritual readiness, emphasizing wisdom, discernment, and trust in divine protection amid uncertainty. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think AI development aligns with biblical prophecy about the end times, or are we reading too much into technological advancement? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.